I, 25M, can't stand the incredibly low intelligence of my partner, 25F, of 6 years. I'm posting here just because I don't like talking badly about my girlfriend to anyone I know in real life. Also, this isn't even really bad necessarily, but still, it's unfair to her to start saying this about her to other people who know us. We have been dating for 6 years. It's been great. We share values and beliefs in many things, and we genuinely enjoy spending time with each other. As we are getting closer to the serious stage of any relationship, marriage, I have started developing stronger concerns thinking about the future. I would say this has been on my mind for over a year, hoping and praying it would go away, but it just won't, and if anything, it's getting stronger. I just have a gut feeling I won't be happy in the future. A lot of our relationship, I've dealt with basically everything, planning a 2-month trip in Europe and working on the day-to-day itinerary, and places to eat for date nights. Activities we can do, helping her get a job with building her resume and showing her how to apply, prepping her for job interviews, helping her with working on a healthy lunch for her work. It may sound controlling, but I genuinely don't want to do everything. It's just the way our relationship is, and she likes it that way. I have tried multiple times to tell her that I would like her to help, but she always replies with, "I have no idea what I'm doing." This, however, isn't even that bad. As I mentioned, I'm used to planning and doing everything for us. It's just become my role. However, as the years have gone by, I've always known her intelligence wasn't very high. Pretty basic things are a struggle for her. She doesn't understand directions at all. Her mathematics is really bad, struggles with 21 plus 25. Even though we have been to Rome in Italy, she asked me if Rome is its own country. I was in disbelief the other day when she thought that the sun rises in the north and sets in the north every day. Seriously, how can somebody who has lived here for 25 years think that's true? I will tell her things that are important to me, and she will forget them, and I'll need to re-explain them a week later. I have tried to help her with things in our relationship. Once she came to me upset because at her workplace she needed to use fractions, and she didn't understand any of them. She was struggling with 3/4 and 1/4, for example. I sat down with her and offered to try to teach her and make her understand. She told me, "I'll never need this again, so no need to learn." Her emotional intelligence really lacks with the fights we have. Being completely honest, and as harsh as it might sound, I think about when we have kids, she won't be able to really teach them anything, and if she does try, it will likely be incorrect. She gets upset that I correct her a lot because it makes her feel dumb. I have tried to help her with simple tasks, but her unwillingness to learn is what is affecting me. I have spoken to her about this many times, but nothing is changing. I just don't know how to feel. She loves me a lot, and it would destroy her breaking up, but I just don't feel happy anymore. And it would destroy her breaking up. It won't. I promise. But living like this will destroy both of you. She sounds like she may have a genuine learning disability. Has she ever been evaluated for cognitive issues? Regardless, respect is pretty fundamental to a healthy relationship, and if you don't respect her, you definitely shouldn't marry her. It's been 6 years, so at this point you know who she is. If she's not your person, let her go and don't waste her time. The tone alone of this post shows that you clearly don't feel great about the relationship you're in or the person you're in it with. Unless you see that changing, sounds like it's time to move on. I couldn't date someone that I viewed as dumb. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to her. Cut it off. If you prioritize intelligence, why settle for something less? Is she genuinely not intelligent, or is she choosing to not be? Does she not think because she knows she doesn't need to do so with you by her side? 1 year ago you already posted that you doubted the relationship and actually wanted to leave. Worse, you also made a post about the anger issues of this woman. Now this. Just how miserable do you want to get? How much more time do you want to waste in an unhappy relationship, resenting a person which should be your partner? You know that you should leave. Nobody else can do this for you. I'm sorry, but I lost it at the sun rising and setting in the north. That is genuinely one of the wildest things I've ever heard. You already know that you're not going to be happy in the future. You don't even really sound very happy now. People and systems seem to have failed her along the way, and she's not interested in trying to bridge the gaps now. This is not your responsibility. I'd definitely be moving on if I were you. You're still so young. You still have all the time in the world to find the one, but she doesn't sound like she's it for you. Partner, 33M, of 7 years family made it clear I, 30 female, was a guest at the wedding? I, 30F, have been with my partner Dave, 33M, for 7 years. I am close with his family and have been through everything with them, including the loss of a family member. My partner has 2 sisters, F30, F26, an older one recently got married to their partner of 4 years. They are Indian, so they had 2 weddings, and I was told to buy their mom that family doesn't have to give them a wedding gift. But then she told me that I should gift over $100 per wedding since I am not family. I said okay, and my partner offered to pay for half. I declined as I didn't want to make it seem like it was about money. I also helped with their wedding, just small preparations, and was seated at the family table. Was it okay for me to feel some type of way about this? I felt like it was a clear message that I was not part of the family. I felt like my partner could have fought for me and told them that I am part of family. I haven't talked to Dave about how I've felt yet because I didn't want to make a thing of it if I was overthinking the situation. As an Indian, I will say this: giving a gift of $100 as a guest means you are considered family. Relatives that are not seen as close family often give $50. Your relationship is considered important based on that fact. You were seated at the family table. I think that means a lot. Red heart. I think that you should talk to Dave to gain a better understanding of Indian wedding traditions and customs, as well as the customs and tradition of their individual family. Also, you can be part of Dave's chosen family without necessarily being family to the rest of his biological family. My friend Indian F was with her English partner for 5 years before they got engaged. He couldn't understand why he wasn't treated as family until they married, but as soon as they got engaged it all changed. That's just the reality in some cultures. I'd be questioning more what your partner is saying to his mom about proposing in the future. A seating at the family table at this stage might not mean much. I mean, are they going to seat you on your own next to randoms? Why are you not a wife after 7 years? That's the question you should be asking. You're not married, you were a guest. If marriage isn't important to you too, that's your business. The reality is, a lot of people and cultures don't recognize you as a family unit until you are. The law doesn't. 26F, 29M. My boyfriend expects me to cook and clean after cooking. How does it work in your household? I cook most of the days, at least 4 times a week. I cook soups, classic dinners such as pasta, potatoes and pork chops, curry. On his days he does a salad containing of salad mix, feta and tomato. Sometimes French fries. And when I help hamburgers, I said it to him multiple times that it's not fair that the cook has to clean up, especially when I do more, but he says that I can just do things that doesn't use much things, and the cleanup will be easy. I also want to point out that we both work from home, but I have to work from office 2 days a week. But yeah, I can't live off plain as salad rolling on the floor laughing. How does it work in your house? Is there a designated cook/clean? Or do you share? Even if you got 1,000 responses here, and every single one said that you are right and he is wrong, would that be helpful in solving your problem? It doesn't sound like he's interested in working with you to find mutually acceptable solutions. It sounds like his priority is telling you to accept what he thinks is fine. Am I wrong? Make your own meal, and he can have salad every day if he wants. Usually from my experience, whoever cooks doesn't have to clean because they went through the effort of cooking dinner. Just to make things even, the person who didn't cook should contribute in some way. Each of you start cooking for yourselves. You cook for you and clean your own dishes. He cooks for him, and he cleans his dishes. Ada. He truly is fine only eating salads, and will be fine with continuing to do so, which would suggest that you're having different priorities and value kitchen labor differently. Or he may get annoyed with only eating salads, which shows that he actually does place value on your time/efforts in the kitchen. So if he wants to continue enjoying your food, he should acknowledge that value and reciprocate effort by washing the dishes when you cook. I cook and clean the kitchen after. That's because my wife does most of the other stuff like laundry. It's a fair trade MO. We switch off. Whoever doesn't cook is the one who cleans up. It's only fair this way. This is how healthy, well-adjusted couples behave. I 34F cut off my bestie 34F of almost 20 years. I've been sitting on this for a while and need outside perspective. Names are changed. My best friend Samantha, and I have been close since high school, almost 20 years. She lives in Roseville, I live in Pasadena. In May 2024 she drove down with her son Jordan and nephew Eli for a Universal Studios trip. It was supposed to be fun, but it left me questioning everything. I told Samantha before the trip that I'd worked late, was on anxiety meds, and needed to sleep in before running an errand at Nigel's Beauty Emporium in North Hollywood. I work as a Disney makeup artist, and that was my only chance to stock up for jobs since I couldn't go during the week or the following weekends. The plan was clear. I'd meet her at the Sheraton Universal at check-in time, 3 p.m. Instead, she left at like 6 a.m. without telling me, and called at 9 a.m., saying she was less than an hour away and hungry. No text before, nothing. Suddenly I had to rush. She and the kids walked into my house, sat down like it was a sighting room, and pressured me to get ready, even tried to talk me out of showering. My bags weren't packed, I hadn't brushed my teeth, and my anxiety was spiking. After I let them know I needed to take a moment to get myself ready and pack, they backed off a bit and calmly waited while watching TV. They said they wanted Japanese food, so I told them about all of the best Japanese spots in town. They decided to pick a cheap, fast food like Japanese restaurant that had sticky tables and menus. I ended up getting extremely sick after eating there, but I said nothing. As soon as we checked into the room, Jordan ripped a huge fart. I told him, go on the balcony if you need to do that, since we were all sitting there. Samantha snapped at me, he's a boy, that's what boys do. Later that night, I asked everyone before placing an Instacart order if they wanted anything. I got sandwiches, drinks, snacks, ice cream, little things. When it arrived, nobody touched it, and they said they didn't want anything. Total waste of money, and I ended up eating a whole pack of ice cream bars by myself. The next morning while I was doing my makeup as we got ready for the park, with eyeliner in my hand, Samantha smacked me on the butt so hard that it hurt minutes later. I laughed it off. Later at the park, I playfully pinched her arm while we were waiting in line to get on a ride, and she exploded on me in front of strangers and her kids, yelling, "What the fuck is your problem?" The double standard was humiliating. Jordan also snatched my phone out of my hands on the way to the park when I was trying to figure out the park app. I looked at Samantha to say something, but she didn't. When I tried to get it back, he dodged me until I firmly said, "Give me my phone back." Later at the park, he snatched her phone, and when I told him not to grab phones from adults, she defended him, saying, "It's not your phone." The part that cut deepest was at the park. Jordan gave me his phone to hold, and I saw a Discord chat labeled "Some Dirty Blacks" and "Some Privilege." Jordan is black. I calmly told him those aren't friends if they call you that. Samantha saw it, put her hand in my face, and said, "We're not doing this." What stung most is that in 2020, she called me crying about how hard it was raising a black son as a white-passing Latina, single mom, and told me she needed my help. But when the moment came, she shut me down almost as if she wanted to say, "STFU, you angry black bee." Weeks later she texted me, "Why are you acting so weird? No accountability, no can we talk?" I told her it was crazy she could treat me that way, and then act like I was weird for not pretending nothing happened. We never talked again. No closure. I quietly unfollowed her, and went on with life without one of the closest friends I've ever had. I sometimes want closure, but something tells me there is no coming back from this, and that I outgrew her for good. So Reddit, am I unreasonable for cutting her off and still being upset? How would you go about seeking closure if at all? Side note. Recounting this is just reminding me of the gnarly migraine I had the entire time I was with them on this trip. I was supposed to stay an extra night, but I felt sick to my stomach with stress/anxiety, so I quietly left as they got ready for bed. I was so drained by the time I returned home, and relieved to have left them at the hotel. Like the life was sucked out of me. Couldn't believe I felt that was after spending time with people that I loved. Too long did not read. Best friend of 20 years ignored my boundaries, rushed me, smacked me, then blew up when I touched her, defended her son's disrespect, and dismissed me when I calmly addressed a racist Discord chat. Weeks later she texted, "Why are you acting so weird?" And we've never had a real conversation since. It's just grief. Give it time. A real friend wouldn't make you feel this way, and sometimes people grow apart. It's sad, but it's also natural. Closure is a myth. She is never going to recognize and acknowledge her bad behavior, so opening that door again is just going to leave you frustrated. Unfortunately, sometimes people just grow apart, and simply are no longer compatible as friends. Let it lie for a while. If she reaches out, you are welcome to listen to what she has to say, but unless it starts with a sincere apology, I wouldn't waste my time. Ow, look what it is. A shiny new spine. Cherish it. She was no friend. Only a leech and enabler. What closure would you like? where she admits she was wrong after her son steals all her rent money for a game. She's raising her own karma demon. Don't worry about the time you were friends. People stay in even physically abusive relationships for far longer than that. Read about battered woman syndrome. You were experiencing the light version of it. It seems strange that she would act this way after 20 years of friendship. It makes me wonder how often y'all were in touch, or how involved you've been in each other's lives. Have her and her children otherwise been well-behaved and considerate? Time does not determine the value of a friendship. It's being there for each other, and kindness should be foundational. I don't think it's unreasonable to cut her off, but if it is a friendship you want to salvage, it could be worth having a conversation. This may sound strange, but in different families some family members follow the one with the most dominant personality. In your best friend's family, she follows her son's dominant personality more than he follows her as a parent. That's what you feel felt wrong. It has nothing to do with gender roles. Some just have a very, very dominant personality. I don't think your best friend herself even noticed how her own personality changed after her son's behavior. If I were you, I would go low contact and think about how I should formulate myself going forward, considering how the friendship has changed from your friend to her son controlling the dynamic. Your friend was terrible. It's good you guys split. Maybe there is resentment from her side, that you have no kid and are still free. I say this as a mom, but also you might really need to work on setting boundaries. No one should treat you this way, ABD, you shouldn't give them the opportunity to.